What's good, Internet? My name is Attack Slug. Welcome back to WWE Smackdown Vs RAW 2007 on the Xbox 360. I am still your World Heavyweight Champion, but both Batista and Randy Orton want a shot for Wrestlemania. And so today, we begin with a triple threat match on SmackDown Playoff.
Randy Orton might not be in the World Heavyweight title picture at the moment, Taz, but you'd never know it by looking at some of the matches he's had recently.
That's one of the best ways that you get a title opportunity. If you can prove that you can hang with the champ and maybe get a little heat on him, it's only a matter of time before you're going to be getting a shot at the title. And Orton knows that better than anybody.
And so I welcome you to a fine Wednesday here on the program with Mr. Randall Keith Orton. Not much in the news to discuss today, but obviously it's Wednesday, and SmackDown was last night, and plenty to discuss from SmackDown Live.
I can't help but wonder what Batista's attitude is going into this match, Taz.
Well, obviously, he faces the champ on Sunday for the title, so he's looking to feel him out a little bit here tonight. Orton's the wild card, though.
Wild card?
He's not exactly friendly with Batista, but you gotta figure he's done him some favors in harassing the champ.
And the wild card again today. Honestly, I didn't even keep track last night of who was the wild card on SmackDown Live, because at this point it doesn't really matter. They're going to do whatever they want to do with those wild cards, and there are no repercussions for breaking those rules. But like I said yesterday, it's starting to make SmackDown feel like Raw 2, which is why I didn't watch SmackDown years ago, because they just repeat everything that already happened on Raw. And we're starting to get a bit of that here, moving into this whole Fox era. I'm hoping once they go to Fox, it's more of a delineation between the two brands and not just the same thing on both shows, because you would imagine that Fox wants their own unique show. But they also want the top stars, so you gotta have that wild card nonsense. So I'm hoping that, hey, even if they end this brand split, they can still keep SmackDown feeling somewhat fresh and unique and not just a retread of Raw every week. Because at that point, then why watch it? I already watched Raw. That's already 3 hours. Like, come on.
And here comes the man who puts the World Heavyweight title on the line against the Animal Batista this Sunday at No Way Out.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to think about it, but this might be the last time we see him on SmackDown with the World Heavyweight title.
If he's going to keep that title, he's going to need to get to No Way Out in one piece. And that means he's going to have to focus on both his opponents tonight, as tempted as he may be to go right after Randy Orton.
Oh, I am tempted, all right, Michael Cole. Don't you worry. There's going to be payback for that RKO. So, SmackDown begins with the New Day in the ring for a promo. And Big E suggests the second hour of SmackDown should be the Freaky Hour. Which honestly reminds me that, hey, the third hour of Raw was supposed to be a Raw thing with the lights down low, and that lasted a whole, 2 weeks, and they stopped doing it? Like, they have a problem with actually sticking to their things when they decide new things. So that's an issue, but this ends up with Xavier and Dolph being the match here, one-on-one on SmackDown. Plenty of interference from the New Day, and then also from Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. So that's a match for later on in the evening in your main event. We'll get there. Now, this had more Raw recaps on this show. I don't want to see Raw recaps on SmackDown and vice versa. I don't need that. I watched that show. It should hopefully be a different show, and I don't need to know what happened again with a long recap for what happened on Raw. It's just unnecessary. Unless it's some kind of a major, super huge thing, it's unnecessary. But again, the wild card is ruining all of that. Baron Corbin is backstage, still looking for a referee. So obviously you have the video package of Rollins doing all of his attacks from Raw, and then Matt Hardy was there in the room, and then Shelton Benjamin on the outside, called Senior Benjamin. That joke finally pays off. And the B-Team. And of course, they're going to deal with things from Rollins later on in the evening. B-Team, B-Team, go, go, go. Now, I will say one thing here. Thanks, Batista. I will say one thing here. In that, man, I had the absolute lowest expectations for the Alexa Bliss Bayley segment, and it ended up being good. So either they have entirely new writers, or they figured out what they need to do with those two, because that actually went and mentioned things that happened in the past, which is always important, right? To actually reference prior history of your superstars when they have prior history, even if that history is NXT, always important. And super excited to see that. And then you gave Bayley a little bit of fire, which is 100% what she needs even as a face. And one of the biggest pops she ever got on the main roster after her debut was when she absolutely lost it on Sasha Banks. And people popped like hell for that. So give her a little bit of fire, a little bit of something else. Put a little stank on it, if you will. And that ends up working for her way better. Instead of being just this generic face and whatnot. Like, that worked out. It sounded natural. It was a good segment. And then leaving Nikki looking a little conflicted as to who she sides with there also gives some more intrigue to that match on Sunday, which is what you want to do for your go-home show to sell your pay-per-view. So now I am more invested in that match because of that one segment. That is the mark of a good segment. So kudos to whoever put that together, because it actually worked. It actually worked, and I am shocked that it was, like, compare that to Bayley, This Is Your Life, and it is leagues above that. Leagues above that. Because it actually sounded natural, and it furthered the story, and it referenced prior history. So kudos on that one. Perhaps the best thing on this whole show was that segment. And that's crazy for me to even say that, considering how down on it I was yesterday. Now then, there is a growing feud between Andrade and Apollo Crews, which I'm kind of okay, sure. I think there are better opponents for Andrade besides Apollo, and nothing against Apollo, but I think there are better opponents for someone that good in Andrade. And what's funny is we see Chad Gable taking notes. And I'm like, I thought Gable was a 205 guy now, but also I want to see Andrade and Chad Gable. That's a great match. Give me that match every week for a couple of weeks. Like, seriously. Please. If you can't have Mysterio in there because of his injuries, then give me Chad Gable. Uh-oh. Randy Orton. Gonna hit that RKO? Maybe? Or perhaps Batista? Gonna just hit me with the Braun Strowman, the Oklahoma, running power slam? Whatever. Anyway, later on in the evening, we had the B-Team fighting Heavy Machinery. You had Daniel Bryan, and you had Rowan on commentary, although obviously mostly Daniel Bryan, because that's kind of what he is. He is the mouthpiece of that tag team, right? And obviously, Heavy Machinery beat the B-Team. But here comes Seth freaking Rollins onto SmackDown with his chair to continue what he was doing on Monday Night Raw. Now, I do want to mention here, on commentary, that mentioning that Heavy Machinery inspired by the Bushwhackers, and then having Daniel Bryan mention he prefers the Sheep Herders is a great bit of history. It's like, hey, go watch the network. Go watch the Sheep Herders. That was great. And then, I think it was Graves mentioning, yeah, and we all know that the flag waver for the Sheep Herders went on to do great things. And if you know your history, you know that was Johnny Ace, a.k.a. John Laurinaitis, a.k.a. People Power, and the father-in-law of Daniel Bryan. So that all is, if you have paid any attention to wrestling, that is amazing, right? If you don't know, then you should know. But if you don't know, go look it up. Good stuff there. So, you know, I always enjoy, just give me a little something as a long-term wrestling fan. Just give me a little bit of something, and I will definitely be on the ball with that. So kudos to whoever got that written down somewhere, or, you know, off the cuff, whatever. But, of course, then you have Aleister Black continuing to be in a dark room every week with no one will attack him, no one will open the door. So that ends up being just like, alright, look. How many more weeks is Aleister Black going to be in a dark room? How many more weeks do I have to mention this on this show? Because it's really, no! I did the work. I don't think so. Randall? I don't think so. Randall, get that slug sploder on ya. I'm doing it to him. And then Batista! No, reverse Batista. Reverse Batista! Reverse Batista! Thank you. And I didn't want to do that, whatever that was. That was not my intention. I had hit my move, and I wanted to keep doing my move, and that didn't work out at all. This is 6.5 minutes of this so far, which is kind of nuts. Kind of nuts. It's a long and grueling match for this video game, to be honest. I wanted to... The targeting in this game for multi-man matches continues to be extraordinarily frustrating. I don't know how to deal with it. I really don't. Anyway. So, Drew and Elias and Shane are out there doing their thing. And The Miz came out to run them down, as he should do, right? Even though, hey, wild card, whatever, who cares? Lost count, it's fine, don't care, right? But Miz mentioning on commentary that we're tired of Shane sucking up all the airtime on every show. And WWE has this habit, right? Well, they will acknowledge there was a problem with something, right? They will acknowledge when the fans are unhappy about something. They won't do anything about it, they'll just acknowledge it. And it's like, look, you know there's a problem, you mention the problem, you don't do anything about the problem, and that is a problem. Like, seriously. That's always annoying to me that they actually will acknowledge things and then not actually do anything about them. Is one of the most frustrating things about that company. It's like Vince just saying, yeah, we know. It's not gonna fix it, but we know. It's so dumb. 1, 2, and pinned Randy Orton. Batista's just knocked out, so sure. I did all that. That was me.
The champ is taking out the trash. So long, Randy.
Goodbye. And then Batista bomb.
Whoa! Looks like we had a little preview of No Way Out
going
on here.
Shouldn't have pushed him. Oh. Evolution is a mystery.
Oh my God! RKO!
I don't know
That was
where.
a serious tactical error on the part of the champ, Cole. Just cause you toss a guy out of the ring doesn't mean, he's done for good.
And did you notice, Taz? Batista didn't do a damn thing to stop that RKO.
And why should he, Cole? He warned the champ weeks ago that he was going to have to fight his own battles.
But he also could have given me a Batista bomb. I would have. Woo! Oh! Who done it?
What was that? Oh my gosh! Are you okay?
No. No, I'm
Stay
not.
right there. Don't move. Help! Somebody help! He's hurt!
Here's the funny part. I have no idea who that is. There were so many blondes that kind of look similar in that era. I have no idea who that was. So I'm not going to make it to No Way Out because of a pipe injury. Play up.
Player, it's theater alone. I think you're making a big mistake by going ahead with this match after that attack. Now, there ain't a superstar in the whole locker room who'd hold it against you if you forfeited the title tonight. You've got the whole rest of your career to consider. Now, if you're going to do this, you better do it smart and be careful out there. You're too valuable to Smackdown to suffer a career-ending injury tonight. Good luck, champ.
Good luck, champ. Thanks, Teddy. Really appreciate it on that bit of business. But I do appreciate the old mysterious attacker scenario. I'm assuming it's Randy Orton, but hey, it might not be.
It looks like things just got a little easier for Batista in this match, Taz. After that ambush earlier tonight, I can't believe that the champion's going ahead with this title defense.
Me neither, Cole. And we still don't know who hit the champ. Who knows? Maybe Batista does.
Easy, partner. You can get yourself in a lot of trouble saying things like that without being able to back them up.
Whoa there, guy. Relax yourself. Anyway, so the Drew and Elias thing ended up being a tag team match against the Awesome Truth, because R-Truth was hiding under the ring, and he had 10 seconds to choose a partner, and hey, here's Truth doing that thing. And thankfully, they acknowledged that they were the Awesome Truth, like 10 years ago. So, again, a little bit of continuity for me goes a long way. So, thumbs way up on that. Obviously, they lose that match. It was elimination. And then Truth runs away because, obviously, he got out of the match. And then here comes all the guys who want his title for 24/7. Now then, they go backstage. The AOP are there. I don't know what brand they're on. I'm going to guess Raw, but I honestly don't know what brand they're on. They may have been drafted to SmackDown in the shakeup. I legit don't know. They've been off TV for so long. So, who knows? But hey, AOP back in business. And the Kabuki Warriors are going to challenge the Iconics non-title in Tokyo. And if they win, they get to fight the Iconics for those titles. So I would assume that's going to happen.
I've got to give the champ credit for going ahead with this match, but he's risking a lot. You have to wonder if it's the best move of his career.
Yeah, but what's the alternative? To forfeit the title a month before WrestleMania? An injury's bad, no doubt. But that's a real career ender right there, I'm telling you, man.
Like, I don't think anybody would bet against Asuka and Kairi in Japan. It's just, like, they're going to win that match. It's just kind of, pretty much a foregone conclusion to at least further that angle somewhere, somehow. And hey, getting them on TV, always a good thing. They are continuing the Ember Moon, Mandy, and Sonya deal, which is about fitness magazines and broken switches, like the console, and donuts. But hey, we've seen feuds that involved shampoo commercials and spilled coffee. So it's not that far out there in terms of how you want to start a feud. Fine by me. As long as the matches are quality, I kind of don't care. Like, just give me a decent build for anything, and I'm pretty much on board with it. So, personal issues are always better than having just, hey, I want to win a match type issues. So there was that. Now then, the biggest news on the show. We have a new 24/7 champion. That's right, Drake Maverick. Long-term 1-month booking. The chase is over. Maverick is your new 24/7 champion, rolling up R-Truth in a disguised as Carmella. Just genius. We know Truth can't tell all these blondes apart. He's like, mini Carmella? It was great. It was absolutely great. So, and we know where it's gonna follow up. Because they've been already mentioning that Drake Maverick is getting married. So you know they're gonna have him with that belt at the wedding type deal. They're gonna have a whole fake wedding for Drake Maverick, and then have that belt change hands at that wedding. It's going to be amazing. And what I've heard is they're giving all the guys that are involved in this title chase more creative input on how these things should get booked. And again, hey, giving guys more input ends up with better angles. Imagine that. Instead of just heavily scripting all this stuff and having it just be the same and boring, you give guys actual input in the process, and you end up having better wrestling from wrestlers who know wrestling, instead of writers who write for TV. Imagine that. So, kudos to Drake Maverick and that title. So, but what's funny is that a shirt had leaked out like last week. Anyway, main event was Kofi and Seth versus Owens and Sammy, which was literally, well, first of all, it was 2 out of 3 falls, right? And again, that just happened on Raw last night. So stop repeating things that just happened on Raw. That's annoying. But secondly, the only reason it was that kind of a match for 2 out of 3 falls was specifically so you could have both Kofi and Seth get pinfall victories on the same show, on the same match, before the go-home show, before Stomping Grounds. So, again, they are just pinning Sami Zayn every single week, and he just cannot get a win. I get it. He's a heel. He is a smarmy heel. But he has to have a little bit of offense somewhere. Look a little bit decent somewhere. And Attack Slug does not retain just yet. They also showed Paul Heyman in the back, watching and waiting. Which honestly, look, that's cool. Like, keep that threat there without actually having to pay Brock to be there. That's fine. But I still think October 4th is the day for Brock to cash in. I'm still going. I'm still riding that bet all the way until it's all the way until it is no longer true. I'm still riding it. So we'll see, man. We shall see. Anyhow, Batista needs to go down. A damaged in the head Attack Slug. What else is new? Can we get this and make it a win? Can we? I'm so dizzy. I'm so dizzy. I must overcome the odds for your hard-earned views each and every week. Batista. Get up. Oh, he dodged it. The second slug splitter did not happen against the animal Batista. But no, the slug fighting back with everything he has. And slug sploder into the ropes. Boom. Dragging Batista. Center of the ring. Is this enough to put away the animal? Will Attack Slug go to WrestleMania as champion? Yes. Yes, he will. Woo!
What a match! the champion overcame that backstage assault and went on to defeat the Animal Batista and retain the World Heavyweight title.
That's a lot of fire and a lot of heart right there, Cole. That's the stuff true champions are made of.
And you know what else that means for the champion? Next stop, WrestleMania.
Point at the sign. Point at the sign. Where's the sign point at? Come on. That's between the Rumble and Mania. There's a sign point. That's how that works. And so the mystery continues. I'm Attack Slug. Tomorrow, my Stomping Grounds predictions. I'll see you then, 5 p.m. on this channel. More videos just about every day. And I'm out.